You don't like. Oh, we just saw it! Wow, that was a perfect anus.
Yeah.
A perfect anus.
There's no hole now, and then there was a.
Yeah,
just a
the
big...
hole appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah. Wasn't that?
Wow, that was amazing.
And he's just sitting in it.
That's the kind of anus I want.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Before we get to this point, or this one, let's go back to earlier in the day when I was at the Nobel Peace Center. Trying to get inspired in the hopes I can eventually be of service in making the world a better place. But how? After washing my hands, literally and metaphorically, it was time to explore how we might achieve world peace. Let's start with an easy one.
The colours of a rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying, "I love you."
I need a break.
I mean, there's a lot of babies and naked people with this.
There's a lot
artist.
of naked people.
Yeah,
A lot
everyone's
of naked
naked, I guess.
I noticed it's a very Christian park though, because the foreskins are still there.
Yes, I haven't noticed.
Yeah. Well, I
assume that's a foreskin. I mean, it is.
That's a foreskin.
Yeah.
That's
That's got to be a weird part of the day as a sculptor.
as a sculptor to get the penis right. Have you ever drawn a sort of a really realistic penis? Instead of like, let's say, sending a dick pic, have you ever like drawn your wife a...
Draw my wife like artist rendition of like a way because you always when you draw a dick you'll always just do the you know with the balls.
Oh, like an erect with a
or a funny one, you know.
A funny one.
You never draw one veiny. You
No,
know what I mean?
I draw a flaccid one. I draw as accurate penis as possible.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, thanks, man. This man's clearly a grower, not a shower.
Yes. Well, it is cold in Norway. He's outside all the time.
Like if you, for example, had a baby who was as powerful as Thor, would you kick it?
This is
if it was going to enjoy itself, would you kick
yes,
your baby?
of course. If he could just like go and then. But also, if my child was Thor, I would think this child is going to be a grown-up Thor one day, you know, and be all. I don't want him to go Loki on me, you know, and be bad. So I would be.
Sure. Loki's not bad though.
No, he has some swings and roundabouts, I guess. But that's one thing to learn as a parent, that you realize just when you become a parent, your relationship with your own parents is like, oh, okay, yeah, I can say I like them, or not. Like, and those are the things you instill in yourself, like, oh, I gotta be nice, because, you know, this is only a very short period of our life together when they're small.
That's true.
And then, you know.
But you know, they forget about the first 15 years. So if you want to start kicking your baby, like, do it now.
Yeah. That is true.
It's not going to remember, especially if you kick it right. I'm just saying, if I could kick a baby, I would kick a baby.
Yeah.
I mean, so, you know, Israel and Palestine. Right?
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to solve that issue?
You want to hear something funny? For the first time in about, I don't know, 10 years, I was invited to go on some Good Morning news show in Norway. I was like, yes, to be a comedian, like that was the role. You gotta go in and be funny.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, so, you know, we talk about the news, and this was before Christmas, you know, or like February, like well, you know, the news is pretty much Palestine and Israel, and the other guy who's going to he was like a veteran, like broadcast journalist who's been there on the strip with the suit.
Yeah.
And you know, and you want me to just like just throw in a quip when he's like telling, this is the worst spot ever, you know. So I'm just sitting, and he's just telling this awful story.
What a balance! Like this man talking about genocide, and now we cut to Vidar. So Vidar, how do you feel about genocide?
Yeah, don't like it. Like that's all I could.
It's bad, right?
Yeah. And
can we agree that it's bad?
Yes.
Okay, good. It's nice to know. You know when you talk to friends and you don't know where they are on a particular
the genocide
topic.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember someone once said to me, if I had the power to give you superpowers, I wouldn't give you powers, right? And I was like, what? Like, why? And she goes, you would go evil in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I can see why, because there's a part of me that wants, you know, if I had the power to just go to Israel and Palestine, I would go, you've got 2 weeks. I'm sick of this shit. The world is sick of your shit. You two, come here. Israel, Palestine, come here. Fucking clean your room. 2 weeks, otherwise you're all gone.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that I don't have powers.
I mean, it's like have you ever played Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So you start off on, do a mission, and then you just randomly kill someone.
Oh, I prefer going the other way. I really like obeying the law. You know, have you ever driven in Grand Theft Auto and then just, when it's a red light, you stop at the red light and you just listen to the radio? But the thing is, I've been thinking about Israel and Palestine because it's such a almost eternal issue. The conflict has been going on for so long, and it's like they are a reflection of humanity, right? As in, like, you know, the internal conflicts that we have with ourselves. And I'm trying to like work out what my part is, not in like resolving the issue, but like if it's something that's going to be going on forever, like what is one meant to do, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, I think it's possible for someone and necessary for peace to feel and understand one side without denying the pain of the other, right?
Yeah.
They're both in pain, and they're both projecting, and they're both like have generations of trauma that sort of drive them to either go, no, we need, you know, resolution, we need peace, or to let that trauma take over and have revenge, which is such an eternal storyline. I mean, Shakespeare and all that.
It's almost like a
Greek
family where they've done each other wrong.
Yeah,
like those things, like childhood things, go back so long that it's always there at the root, and the root can never be pulled up, so it'll always be conflict then, you know?
Right. Yeah. And so I'm then going, well, if it's always going to be conflict, just because they'll never see eye to eye, right? So there's a thing called the Balfour Declaration, which is when the British, if you like, took over the land after a war with the Ottomans or whatever, they said to various people, yeah, you can have Palestine, right? So they spoke to the French, and they were like, yeah, just so you know, you can have Palestine, right? And then the French went away, and then they spoke to the Arab nation, come here, yeah, you can have Palestine, right? And then the Jews came out, yeah, you can have Palestine. And so the British fucked everything up. I'm like, I get it, right? You need a mediator if there's a conflict. I get it. You need people to go, right, fucking go over there, you go over there, think about what you've done.
Maybe not the 1920 Brits.
No, not the 1920 Brits. But the reason I thought I'd ask you as representative of the entire Norwegian country is because have you heard of the Oslo Accords?
Yeah. Of course.
So what went wrong?
Well, they just said fuck it. In the end, like the guy who made it, he died. He worked so hard, worked himself to death. To make the Oslo, like the guy behind it,
and he couldn't get it right.
Yeah. Well, he
died for nothing.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, it's hard, right? Because when people are trying to get some peace, then there's all these people that are fueled by rage and revenge that get in the way.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult. I mean, because a part of me is going, come on, man, you have to like learn to forgive not just the other people, but yourselves, right? So like there's that hippie in me that goes, honestly, forgiveness goes a long way, not just for others, but for yourself, right? But if you killed my entire family, a part of me would probably go, I'm going to go psycho on everyone. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's...
If I kicked your baby,
Yeah.
right? If I kicked your baby...
Which one?
As
No, I'm
hard...
just kidding.
the most vulnerable one, right?
Yeah, okay.
If I kicked him as hard as the man that was fighting off the 4 babies, would you be upset with me? Could you forgive? Could you immediately forgive me?
I would probably spend the rest of my time making sure you never had a good time.
Wow!
Yeah.
I'm so you're not killing me. You're
No.
just making sure that my time is horrendous.
I would want you to live so your life would be awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it's understandable.
Yeah.
Like it's that's what's so challenging is the comprehension and desire for revenge is completely understandable, and yet at the same time it's like, but that's why you keep fighting each other, you bunch of fucking anuses.
Please don't kick my baby.
I will not be kicking. You know what? I'd like to say this right now. I will not be kicking a single baby. You've got some really pretty birds.
Yeah, that word just chat. Just when you said the way we were living in a computer game, that bird chat. I was like, well, that's a nice NPC right there. And it was surprisingly not cute. Like, it was just a hole that opened beneath his tail feather there.
Cloaca.
Yeah, and that's the worst name ever.
No, I really like the word cloaca.
Well, you know what?
I'm tempted to name my daughter that.
You know what sewage is in Norway? What's the name?
Sewage?
Yeah, sewage.
No.
Cloak.
Cloak.
Yeah.
So that's
cloaca.
why you don't like. Oh, we just saw it! Wow, that was a perfect anus.
Yeah.
A perfect anus.
There's no hole now, and then there was a
the hole appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wow, that was amazing.
And he's just sitting in it.
That's the kind of anus I want.
Yeah, just to sit in it afterwards. It's fine.
No, what I mean is like as in like hidden, and then suddenly just appears out of nowhere like a flower to shit, and then hides again. Wow, beautiful. I'm so glad that we had that moment together.
Thank you.
Everyone's banging on about winning the war. We've got to win the war. And nobody seems interested in winning the peace. Huh? Ever thought about that? Words matter. The coexistence of war and peace reveals a paradoxical truth about human existence. While they may seem contradictory, they are often intertwined and subjective concepts, dependent on one's perspective. Understanding this paradox invites us to contemplate the complexity of human nature and the fragile balance between conflict and harmony in our world. Embracing this complexity, we must somehow strive to actively work towards peaceful solutions, foster empathy and understanding, compassion and cooperation, and promote dialogue even in the face of adversity, for a more just and peaceful world despite the presence of war. Like, is that too much to fucking ask? Honestly, humans are so lazy. Get your shit together. Or nuke yourself into the apocalypse. I don't care. Right, I'm going for another shit. See you later. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Comment, let me know if you've got any solutions on how to stop humans killing themselves. Bye.